Good morning, people. Titus here for part 9 of our Asteroids mini-series, and in this video, we'll add lives to our HUD so we can prepare for our game over condition. Let's not waste any time and jump right into it. Alright, we're going to head into our widgets folder. We'll open up our heads up display widget, and we're basically going to add an image, a text element, and a variable. So because we're adding 3 elements, let's maybe add a horizontal box so we can keep the alignment a little bit easier. And then for the anchor, we can do bottom left, and then just hold Control, and then go back and hold Shift, and that way it'll kind of add it up there. For the position X and Y, you can actually see here, maybe -20. And then this one we'll try +20 and see how that looks. There's a little checkbox for size to content. Let's go ahead and check that as well. And then for the first element, let's add an image. So we'll just drag an image into the horizontal box. And I actually just made a pixel sprite that we'll just import here. You can use any image you want. Alright, we got the image there. We might compress it, but let's see what it looks like before we do that. We can open up brush, select image, and I think it's ship sprite. And we kind of see it right there. Now for the image size, I'm probably going to bump it to maybe 64 by 64. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And then what we want to do is we want to do a text element. So we'll drag that into the horizontal box. And then for the text block, I want the text to just be a multiplication sign. The text I'm going to use is going to be the pixel font that we've been using. And maybe bump the font to maybe 40. And we probably should add a little bit of padding on the left and right. So maybe do 5 and 5. Let's compile and play that real quick just to see what it looks like. And I think maybe that looks okay. Alright, so let's then add another text element. So we'll drag this into the horizontal box. This one is actually going to be our lives. So let's rename it to lives and check the box for is variable. And now starting off, let's maybe set the lives to be, let's just do 5. And then for the text, let's do a pixel font. And let's maybe do 60. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Maybe I'll lower it a little bit. Maybe go 50. And what's 40 look like? 45. We'll go with that. Alright, and that pretty much completes the HUD edition that we're going to be doing for this video. So let's actually start getting into the coding aspect of it. So we can go to the graph view up here in the top right corner. And just like before, we created a special event to update the score. We're going to need an event to update the lives. So we'll just right click in a blank space. We'll add custom event. We can call it update lives. And just like the score function, we want to add an input pin. So with the plus sign here, and we'll just call this total lives, or maybe lives left. And then we can just use a integer. And then we can get a reference to our lives variable. And we can come off that into a set text. Our widget function, and we can plug that in here and plug lives into here, and it'll automatically do a to text integer conversion for us. And I think the defaults will be fine for that as well. And that pretty much sets up the code for the widget. Now, I think where it makes the most sense to actually drive the calculation for the lives is going to be in the game manager, mainly because on the player ship, we're destroying that actor, so it's going to be a pain to deal with it there. So let's go to the blueprints folder. We'll open up our game manager. Now, starting, I might as well just comment this off here. We'll do that later. Under the begin play, we make a initial call to the widget, and then we call the update score. So what we'll need to do is you can come off this return pin or this return pin, or you can just simply grab your HUD reference by holding control. And then you can drag into our update lives. And then starting out, we can actually set the lives using our game manager. So let's create a new variable. We'll call it lives. It's obviously going to be an integer. And I think starting off, maybe 3 lives. Plug that in here. And if you want to test to make sure it's working, when we look at the HUD, remember we set the lives in the HUD to be 5. The game manager should override that and set it to 3. So let's see if that works. So when we hit play, see we have 3 lives. So we at least know that's working. Alright, so now we actually need to drive the logic of updating the lives. We already have 2 events. We have our death event and our respawn event. And I think it makes the most sense to kind of put it there. So I think what we'll do is before the delay, because I don't want it to wait and decrease the lives. I think that should happen right away. So we'll put a little space here. We can come in, we'll grab our lives, hold control, drag it in. And then we can come off this into a decrement, so just minus minus. We'll then need to clamp this value. So we can just run a search for clamp integer. And the reason we need to clamp it is because we don't want to have negative lives. So say we'll just clamp the value between 0 and 99. And then we can get a reference to our HUD. So we can hold control, drag that in here, and we're gonna have to space this out a little bit further. Off the HUD reference, we can come into update lives. And then now we have a clamped value between 0 and 99. And after the update lives, we can come back into our delay. So then it waits 3 seconds, it destroys all the asteroids, and then it calls the respawn function. So now the respawn function, we don't want to respawn if we have 0 lives. So what we can do is, let's add a little bit of logic to this. So let's space this out here. We can hold control and drag out lives. And we can come off the lives and do less equal for our operator. We'll say if lives are less than or equal to 0, we'll come into a branch check. So B and then click into the graph. So if they are less than or equal to 0, we will print a string and we'll just say that's game over. If it's not less than or equal to 0, then we will go ahead and respawn and run the rest of our respawn code. So now if we compile and save, we can do a quick play. So Now we see I have 3 lives. Let's just go ahead and see if I can... Oh, I just missed it. Like Mr. Magoo here. Okay, so there's 2 lives. All the asteroids get destroyed. Way off, there we go. I get this one, so now I have 1 life left. Asteroids get cleared. And now on... Oh, I missed that one. There we go. So now this one should destroy me. I have 0 lives. It'll clear the screen, but I should not respawn. And then from here, we can call into our game over screen that we'll probably create in a later video. But all right, I think we'll cut it here to keep this video short. But yeah, on the next one, we'll work on the game over state. But as always, thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and see you on the next one.